right, so my name is Minik Voki. I am with the Public Service Commission with the government of PEI. So what that essentially means is I work for the HR department with the government of Prince Edward Island. So I'm going to do a very short version of what I normally present and start off by just going over the different things that you can get while working with the government and the benefits of working with us. First and foremost, we have competitive wages. So we do have collective agreements for almost all of our positions. What that means is we would negotiate all of your terms and conditions while working, your salary, all of that, and you're not negotiating your salary every year. The unions will do that for you. So just one of many, many, many things that the collective agreement can give you. Benefits package will give you health, dental, prescriptions, things like that. Pension, you'll be able to retire a bit earlier if you can get in as early as possible. If you're coming in right out of university, that's the best case scenario. You'll retire a lot earlier than if you don't have a pension. Advancement. So you're able to move around without leaving your employer. So what that means is you can get your foot in the door in a position that maybe it's not your dream job, or you want to try something out and you're not really sure if you'll like it or not. You're able to move around really easily once you've secured a position with us, without losing all your benefits, all of your pension, anything like that. So it's a really great way to get to know different types of roles if you're not really sure where you want to be, or you can get your foot in and you can move up. Funding for education. Most of our positions will offer you $2,500 a year to go towards education. So that could be going back to UPEI and taking courses, going to Holland College and getting a certificate, taking an online course elsewhere. We'll give you $2,500 a year to do any type of training that you like, as long as it has something to do with the position that you're in. Training and development, we offer internal training during work hours that are fully paid as well. So it could be anything from EDI training, facilitation training, Excel, what have you. So we offer that throughout the year, for anything that you might be interested in. And as an added bonus, once you're in the position, you can use those internal trainings on your resume for future positions. So we do take those into account, which is great. We do have some positions that offer remote work, and some of them offer flexible work. So what that means is remote work can mean you're in the office for a certain amount of time and at home a certain amount of time, and every position is different. It does vary, but on our positions, and I will show you this in a bit, it will actually say if that position offers a remote possibility or a flexible possibility. So flexible means if, let's say, you need to be out of there at 4 o'clock, but work hours end at 5, you could potentially start an hour earlier or start an hour later. So they're flexible on what type of hours that you're working during the day. We do have different types of opportunities like co-op placements, summer student internships, things like that. They do vary year to year, so I definitely recommend checking out the website to ensure that if there's anything there that you might be interested in. Anything from golf courses, provincial parks, working in the visitor information centers, youth internships, healthcares, nursing, post-secondary, anything like that. We have a lot of different options there, and they do change year to year. So just check that out on our website. You can also go to www.jobspei.ca, and we'll go through that as well. That all of that information is on our website. We have a diversity talent pool for those of you that might qualify. If you're a newcomer to Canada, you belong to the LGBTQ network, anything like that will qualify you for the diversity talent pool. So what that means is you submit a resume to us for a position that may not already exist. We'll go over it, we'll look through it. We may pre-interview you, pre-screen you, and we'll be able to work with you on how to get a job with the government of PEI and what you may or may not be missing for a position that you're looking to get. And we'll offer mentorship, networking, and anything that we can do to help you move along the way. In order to be eligible for this diversity talent pool, you have to be legally entitled to work in Canada. So you will need a work permit, permanent residency, anything like that. You would have to be willing to self-declare as belonging to a diversity group. We do have more details on what that means on our website, and if you have any questions, we have an email address. It's just diversity@gov.pe.ca. You would obviously, you're in UPEI, you would have your grade 12, fluent in English 12, fluency in English or French. And then once you've applied to the diversity talent pool, your file is active for 3 years. So what happens is once you've done your pre-screening, your pre-interview, um, your file will be with us for 3 years, and should a position come up within that 3 years that does look similar to what your resume could offer, we would give you a call and let you know, hey, we have a position, would you be interested? So that's how that works as well. We also have an internship program specific to those with post-secondary education like yourselves. You would have to have graduated though within 36 months of applying. The internship program always opens up in the spring. So, well, I say spring, winter, January, February timeframe. It's always on our website, jobspei.ca/internship. To be eligible, again, you have to have completed a post-secondary program within the last 36 months, and you have to be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or be eligible for a work permit for a year or longer. The internships are always 1 year long, and during that time, we give you a lot of training, a lot of internal training. You're able to sort of give us an idea of what type of department, what type of position you're interested in, and we work really hard to make sure we can get you into a position that works well for you. The rate of pay, again, it changes every year. This is what it was last year, so it's 2806. Again, it will likely change in the new year. When you go to our website, our job board has significantly changed. So whenever you see our postings are going to look like this. If you've been to our website in the last 6 months, they look like this, but if you haven't, you'll notice a huge change. So you'll notice the position title, accounting officer, Department of Finance, permanent. I do want to just show you that there is an expiry date on the position on the top right-hand corner. We do not look at any applications until after that expiry date. So if you have applied the day it opened or 3 days after it opened, we don't look at any resumes until that closing date, until that expiry date hits. So it just gives you an idea, a better understanding of where you are in the system. There is also a download button. If you see that little arrow pointing down, I recommend always downloading it to your computer. It just makes sure that you have the job posting, you know the expiry date, the job ID, everything like that is all on your computer. Once you've applied, you may not have access to that anymore because the posting will have come down after the expiry date. I also want to mention the minimum qualifications. So when you scroll down, all the minimum qualifications will be there. Um, in those minimum qualifications, it will say considerable experience, experience, extensive experience, all of that different type of verbiage. All of that language actually means a certain time frame. So some experience means we need 3 months to 1 year. Experience means we need 1 to 3 years. Considerable experience is 3 to 5, and extensive is 5 or more. So all of those languages that we use on the minimum qualifications actually does equate to a time frame in that skill set. So just to let you know, that's what it is. If you want to take a picture or anything, those are the time frames that we have on our postings. We also list demonstrated equivalencies on some of our positions. So what that means is that if you do not meet the education requirement, you may meet it based on experience. So if you've got 10 years of experience doing something, but you don't have, let's say, for example, a master's, that experience might be able to level your bachelor's degree, as an example, up to a master's. So you may meet the demonstrated equivalency. So if you see something and you don't have the educational requirement, you might meet it as a demonstrated equivalency. So I always recommend applying if you don't meet the minimum qualifications in education, because you may meet them as a demonstrated equivalency. So just take note of that whenever you see that in the posting. When you go to our website, jobspei.ca, you're going to see these different blocks. The PEI government jobs, health PEI jobs, and public school branch jobs. These are three separate job boards. They do not work together. So any positions that are in health PEI jobs, whenever you click on health PEI jobs, will not be on PEI government jobs. So for example, if you're looking for an admin role, I would say look at all three of those job boards because there may be an admin role in all three of those jobs, but they don't work together. Whenever you click on one, you'll have to come out and go back into the next one just to make sure that you're not missing a position. In this scenario, we'll click PEI government jobs, and then you'll click government of PEI jobs open to the public, so the top right-hand button. And then this is what the job board will look like. I do want to point out that we have job alerts on the right-hand side. So if you click on job alerts, it will bring you to a page that looks like this. So all of our jobs are posted for 2-week intervals for the most part. And so we just want to make sure that you're not missing any potential jobs that come up. So you're able to select a job category or a function, a group, or a location. And then every time a posting comes up, you'll get an email. So you can actually set up how many times you get that email, whether you want it daily, weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly. I do not recommend selecting bi-monthly or monthly. You will likely miss the closing date. So if you could select daily or weekly, or you can receive the job alerts as soon as they are published. So you've got a lot of options there to make sure that you're not missing any postings that come up based on whatever skills or backgrounds you're looking for. So whether that's engineering or accounting, finance, business, what have you, you're able to select all of those different types of roles. So coming back here, if we select the finance officer position, again, this is what it will look like. It will give you all the information on the right-hand side. And you'll see here it says work location on site. If it was a hybrid position, it would say hybrid, and that would tell you that we're allowing you to work from home a few days a week, depending on the role. So in this scenario, we'll select apply, and then it will actually look like a chat box. So you'll have a little atlas guy on the left-hand side of your screen. It will ask you to declare that you're able to give us the information. You'll say yes. You'll put your email address in. You'll put a password in if you haven't logged in already. And then it's going to ask you for mandatory documents, and then you upload it. So in this scenario, we're only asking for your resume. You click upload. And then after that, it will say we're looking for optional documents. This will change depending on the position. In this one, you have cover letter, work permit, certification, international documents, things like that. So these are up to you whether or not you want to upload that information. And then once you've done that, we may or may not have a few questions for you. In this scenario, it's do you have a legal status to work in Canada? I'm a Canadian citizen. How did you learn about this job? And then apply now. Should you have your resume ready to go for a position, the application process should not take more than 60 seconds. You're just logging in, uploading your resume, potentially uploading a cover letter, pressing apply, and that's it. So it's very, very easy, very streamlined in comparison to what it used to be. So I always recommend applying if you're questioning yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, my email is there. So it's just M as in Mary, Vokey, VOKEY @gov.pe.ca. If you have any questions about any of those different types of roles or your resume or how to apply, I'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much. We do have a question in the chat. For the internship program, what degrees are you usually looking for? Or is it pretty varied?
Yeah, any type of degree, just any type of post-secondary education. We're not looking for anything specific. It's as long as you have any type of completed post-secondary education.
Excellent. I was also curious, when you were talking about the considerable experience, would it make sense for students to use that language in their application as well, like with those timelines, or is that kind of something that gets quantified after they apply?
So we just need to know how long you obtained a skill. So
Right.
in your resume, as long as underneath each experience that you have, each different workplace that you've had, if there's a skill there, making sure that the date is with that skill set. So if you worked at UPEI, for an example, for a year, and during that time you facilitated presentations and that was the minimum qualifications, as long as we know that you were at UPEI for a year's time frame, then we would be able to calculate that.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
always ensure that you put your dates in there, folks. So if you
That's
have your
right.
month and your year that you started and you finished. Otherwise, we are not able to quantify how long you obtained a skill set. So always ensure you have your dates in there.
Thank you.
No problem.